Hello, I'm Juan Garcia Ticoulat, and this is Meet the Producer. Um, I come from a diverse background in audio, including music production, sound design, and audiobook recording and productions. For the past 2 years, I've been working as an associate producer with PRH Audio, and in this role, I have been both assisting other producers and also working on productions of my own. Some notable projects I worked on include Liliana's Invisible Summer by Pulitzer Prize winner Cristina Rivera Garza, the incredible memoir Breaking Through by Nobel Prize winner Katalin Karikó, and the amazing last novel from Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Until August, which I was really honored to do. All right, so how did I get into audiobook production? There was a major change in my life about 9 years ago when I moved to the US. Before then, I had been working in audio as a music producer and post production engineer for TV shows, sound designer. But to be honest, audiobooks were pretty much unknown to me in the earlier days of my career. So when I arrived here in the US, I started exploring opportunities to continue my career as an engineer. And I was lucky enough to work as a freelancer in a couple of studios here. And one of them was John Marshall Media, which is an audiobook production house here in New York City. I was immediately captivated by the audiobook format. I really admire the great work that the performers and the directors did there. And over time, I realized that I really wanted to continue my career in audiobooks. So I transitioned from engineer to eventually directing and producing some titles. But 2 years ago, I saw an opportunity for an associate producer position at PRH, and I really tried to submit the best application I could because I knew it was where I wanted to continue my career in audiobooks. So I'm really grateful that that eventually happened. So the production process of Earthlight is truly unique and special. And I think not only for me, but also for PRH. This is an audio original that it's exclusively published in the audio format. So we got the script and read it, and I immediately noticed that it was really good. And also that it was going to be a little bit of a challenge because, there were certain moments where listeners would need to be able to point out a certain location or a place or moment without any visuals of some sort. So it also presented an opportunity to explore what can be done using just sound and audio. Um, I think the results are great. It was definitely a collaborative effort. We that started with the pre-production process and went on with the recording process. In fact, we knew we were going to need a lot of post-production here, but we started in the very recording getting some of those ambiances or some of those wallas and background sounds with the performers in a certain accent, in a Russian accent or German accent. But then we supported that with libraries and sound design, so the result was like even bigger than the recording. Um, I'm really happy about this production, about the results of this production, but definitely it was definitely a collaborative effort. So another truly special title I recently worked on is Where They Last Saw Her by Candice Rendon, and I really recommend listening to it. It's a gripping novel that follows a Native American woman named Quill, and who takes matters into her own hands after learning about so many disappearances of women in her community. Um, it's brutal because unfortunately this is based on what happens in the real world, but it's so beautifully written and compelling. The character of Quill is just so charismatic, strong, and determined. Um, for casting, I wanted to find someone that could match those attributes, and when thinking about narrator options, I came across Erin Tripp, who was one of our mentees in the 2023 mentorship program cohort, and who I really thought could have those attributes on her belt. So I sent a sample to the author, and she liked it very much, and I think she did a great job. So another aspect that makes this listening experience even more compelling, in my opinion, is that the author read her moving author's note herself, as well as the dedication and the acknowledgments. So that really wraps up a beautiful production, in my opinion. So my first solo production as an associate producer at PRH was Reading the Glass by Elliot Rappaport. Uh, Elliot is a sea captain, and it's a beautiful memoir about his journeys at sea, the ocean, the weather, and I just remember finding this topic so interesting, and actually it resonated with me a lot because of my background and the summers I spent in the island of Mallorca. Um, so it was such a treat. I really wanted to find someone who was as passionate with this topic as the author. And thanks to Ahab, I found an amazing narrator that I didn't know of by the time. But that is actually amazing. His name is Greg Tremblay, and he's also a sailing enthusiast. He actually told me when I asked him to submit an audition if he wanted to. He told me that he had just bought a boat by the time. He sent a memorable audition that the author absolutely loved. Um, I think he was like exactly the right choice. And so it ended up being a super fulfilling and rewarding experience to find a narrator capable of conveying the author's thoughts and emotions from the book. It's a really outstanding performance, and I highly recommend it. I'm Juan Garcia Ticoulat, and this is Meet the Producer. Thank you for watching.